How's it going, everyone? Welcome to the October Release Number 20 giveaway. It's fall time, and Virginia is in the house, which you're going to see in a minute. It's big trout time in the USA, and especially in Virginia. So we're excited to talk about that and a few other things. And I'm going to welcome the other stars of the show here. Carrie and Adam, how's it going, guys?
Pretty good. How you guys doing?
How you doing?
Well. Another month. How's it fishing for you guys lately?
Adam?
It's been a little slow. I haven't actually been out a ton in the last couple of weeks, so painfully. But from what I hear, haven't been missing much. So that's a little bit part of the reason, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Carrie?
I was out last week with I took a friend of mine called me from Ohio, and he's got two boys, 11 and 13, and those boys were here 2 years ago and took them out and got them on some trout. And this year he called and he's here for his daughter's wedding and want to know if we could get him on the boat. So I just fished with him. I think we met at 7:30 at Seaway Outpost, and we only fished till about 11:30, but we got on maybe 4 redfish and a couple flounder. But
nice.
Wasn't great.
Yeah. How about you, Dave?
I had Joey Kaz from the SC DNR. Joey is the tagging coordinator for DNRs, and I've been tagging for like 9 years, and he hasn't been the coordinator that whole time, but he has for like the last 2 years, I think. And he's been doing a great job with the program. But last year at Cast It Forward, he hit me up and said, "Hey, can I go fishing with you sometime?" And I said, "Sure." And we finally made it happen. It's been a while, but I got him up, and we had an awesome day. We caught a bunch of striper and some redfish and some couple nice big trout, and just had a really great fall day fishing together. So I'm not a guide. I'm just a fisherman. So I stress out a little bit. You want to put someone like that on a really good day, and you don't know if the fish are going to cooperate. Started out a little bit slow, and I was starting to wonder, I hope this doesn't turn out to be a bad day. But it actually turned out to be a pretty epic day. So it was good. He had a really good time. So I was glad to put him on that. Those guys work so hard for the fishery, and it's cool to see them out on the boat just having a good time and catching a few. And we tagged and released 16 fish.
Wow.
So that was cool. And here's a cool thing. This is pretty epic. I haven't posted this anywhere yet, but the first striper that he caught ever, at least in the river, was a pretty good one, 23 3/4 inch. And he gets near the boat. It's got a tag, and we get it in. We net it, and I tagged that fish. Like
wow.
2 weeks ago, I think. So
cool.
That's great.
Very appropriate that his first fish was tagged, and it was also pretty cool that it was one that I tagged, which is pretty cool.
Do you tag David? Do you tag redfish and stripers with the same tag? I mean, you know what I mean?
Yes, but we have two different kinds of tags. We have little T tags, they're called, which are just like the fabric. Like if you buy a shirt and it's got those little thin plastic T-shaped tags.
Yeah.
It's got that. It's basically the same product, but it has the information on the tag portion.
Mm-hmm.
They don't last forever. There's been some that have lasted 3 years, but they'll come out pretty easy, and eventually the rubber will snap. But we also have dart tags, which are a lot more substantial. And I usually put the dart tags in all the striper because I'm one of only I think 2 people that's regularly tagging them in the river, and we want to see where they go. Mm-hmm. And we've had one tagged. It wasn't my fish, unfortunately, but it was tagged in Goose Creek, and it was recaptured in the Congaree River, which is like 100 miles away.
Wow.
Which is really cool. but I've had three recaptures now, and they've all still been in the river, but smaller fish. So we're just kind of trying to learn what the behavior of these fish in the river are, because people who are watching that don't know, the Cooper River it's fed by 2 lakes with dams, and then above them even is a whole series of rivers, the Saluda, the Congaree, Wateree River, and these fish are able to go all the way up there if they can get through the lock or the tailrace canal to get around the dam. And in fact, it turns out they do that, as evidenced by that one recapture. But it's pretty cool. I'm one of the few people that actively target striper here in Charleston, and I've been having a blast trying to figure them out. So it's been
Hey,
pretty
do you
cool.
know if Dan from Savannah with Low Country Fishing, does he tag stripers?
He probably does. I know
I know
he's an
tags
active
redfish.
tagger, but I don't know if he's only tagging in South Carolina or if he's tagging through a Georgia tag program or not.
Okay, yeah, he's probably
That'd be something that
Georgia.
would be worth asking him, I think.
Okay.
But it's pretty cool. Tagging, you learn a lot from tagging. You learn about how vulnerable, especially redfish, are, because they'll return to the same structure year after year. That's actually something I wanted to talk about. I just had a recapture of I caught a smallish, like maybe, I can't remember how big it was, 16-inch redfish at the Charleston jetties. And as you and I, or you two know, the jetties get a lot of pressure. I mean, there's always boats on it, like every day. Well, I got the recapture report. That fish, after I was the first one to tag it, it had been recaptured 3 more times in 10 months. And luckily or thankfully, it was re-released, even though it was able to be kept. It was caught and released again. But it shows you how, I mean, it makes you wonder, the fish that aren't tagged, how many times were they recaptured and released? Redfish it's super easy to decimate a spot. If you were to clear a dock out and keep all the fish under a dock where redfish are, they're never coming back. And if you let them go, they're going to come back probably that same year or the next year around the same time. They'll be on that same exact piece of structure. You only really appreciate that when you tag, because you get the tag reports back. Otherwise you don't realize. It's like, oh, well, they're moving around, other fish will come and replace them. And to some extent that's probably true, but they really do come back to that same structure over and over again. So, we got on a major tangent here, but it's good to talk about. I think it's a lot of people maybe don't realize that. So, you guys aren't taggers yet, are you, or have you?
No, in fact, I think Joey was saying that they had plenty of taggers at the time, because Adam and I did ask about it when we met with DNR.
He told me the waiting list is 120 something people.
Is it?
I was surprised. So it's good that people want to do it, for sure.
Well, Adam probably wouldn't be real good at it because he doesn't catch enough fish.
Yeah, so we should talk about the annual redfish tournament's coming to Charleston, and Adam was digging me because me and Ralph, my partner in Ice Strike, are doing it. We only do it when it comes to Charleston, but Adam said y'all are going to do it, so
yeah,
he's already ragging me about it.
I know. I know. I've seen the text messages.
Yeah, it's all good. It's going to be a pretty big event, I think.
It's our first Kerry, have you ever? I've never fished a tournament before at all. Have you?
No.
All right.
Okay, so
but
in
I've
all
got
seriousness,
a whole bunch of fish in cages right now. So
I have I got great advice for you both, and this is in all seriousness, and it's from Ralph. So Ralph's fished forever, and he's fished a lot of tournaments. We did our first one like 10 years ago, and I was all nervous at first tournament. And his advice it was really good, and it rings true even today. He said, just go fishing. Just have fun. Don't worry about winning. Just go out and have a good time. And if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But don't get stressed out. And so many people get so hyper and they yell and scream and spaz out if they lose a fish or break off or something like that, or it's a little too big. And you know what, man, you just you'll do better too. Because it's like
you
the
slow down.
positivity will wear off in what you're catching.
Yeah.
You'll be relaxed, you'll fish slower, all that. So if nothing else, take that advice and you'll do better.
Well, I don't be throwing that Ned rig, I'm sure.
Well, how do you get the fish to swallow those real heavy lead weights that make them weigh a lot
Yeah.
more? Do you guys know?
Oh,
anything?
yeah. The 8-ounce slug weights.
Shove it down their throat, I guess. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Anyway, we went way off on a tangent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So anyway, I wanted to real quick just circle back and remind people who are watching why we do this live. And I've never seen anyone else do this live. And the reason we do it live is transparency. It's really important to us that anyone can win these prizes. If you participate, we're not picking and choosing our buddies or who we want to win. We've had people win from all over the country. We've had a few people win more than once. The more fish you enter, the better your chance to win. And we do it live because everyone can watch us do it. And you watch us pick the winner and you go down the list and see who it is. So I just want to remind everyone of that. It's that transparency and just being upfront and clear and honest is kind of what we've always been about. And so anyway, I think it's worth circling back on that every so often. I want to talk about the decals. We're going to be a little delayed this month. And the reason is that the person who does the decals is also the person who does our order fulfillment for my company. She's an independent contractor and she's really good at what she does. And we had a big sale, so we're really backed up with orders. So she's gonna be busy doing that. I'm probably gonna have to personally go ahead and do the decals myself this month, which is fine. But I just wanted y'all to know that it'll be a little bit delayed getting those out, and I hope you understand. And I think the one last thing I wanted to point out was that I don't know if y'all saw this article. We posted it on our media.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy Braswell is a sports writer for the Post and Courier, and he has been so generous about just keeping up with the program. And he interviewed me last week and just wrote a really nice article. We'll talk about a true professional. I always feel like a bumbling idiot when I've done it, when he's interviewing me. And it's always like, oh no, what's it going to look like? Am I going to look like a fool?
I think
he always makes it sound really, really good. So I just shout out to him and just really thankful for him. And he was part of our Cast It Forward. He was a moderator last year at Cast It Forward too. So anyway, that's the latest goings on. You guys have anything else to add before we get moving?
No, I'm good.
Okay. So. All right. Sounds good. So let's talk about how we did this month. It was a huge month. Let's see. Okay. So we had 354 trout entered in October, 17 flounder and 10 sheepshead. Maybe one of our biggest months ever. I don't keep up exactly on what the records are, but that's a lot of dang trout. That's pretty awesome.
Sure is.
And that's a good sign for. Just going to show a couple of the comments. So this is Corey. Hey Corey, if you're there listening, Corey is our number one all-time contributor. So shout out to Corey from Virginia. And Nick, he's reacting to the number of trout. So thanks for the comments, guys. Any of you guys have any questions or anything, let us know. We'll post them up and we'll answer them. So like I mentioned in the header to this thing, Virginia freaking crushed everyone this month. It's big trout time in Virginia. I think a lot of people, including myself, never realized how
Definitely
many
not.
nice trout are in Virginia. It's pretty impressive.
They have 55 already this month. I'm just looking at our website.
Yeah, just wailing on them, and through the rest of the year, it'll continue that way from past year. Corey, I think if I remember right, Corey, he had 55 trout in December, either 1 or 2 years ago, just by himself.
Wow.
Pretty incredible. Texas is, I'm sure, also doing really well. We don't get as many entries from Texas just because they're mostly wade fishing, and it's a little harder to take the picture and submit. But nice job, Virginia. We even had a few from New Jersey, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So those are sheepshead, no doubt. Okay, the angler leaderboard. Speaking of Corey, there's Corey, number 1. Stan Zimmerman, number 2. And on down the line. So Corey had 27, I think. So really strong. I hope you all like this top 10. I watch it during the month pretty regularly, and I think probably people that are on the leaderboard do too. But it's kind of cool seeing like the leader switch up as time goes by. So it's pretty cool. It took about 7. That's Medell. It took 7 to get on the top 10. So, and then our newest leaderboard is the guide leaderboard. So if you've been following every month, we're getting slowly more and more guides on board. And we're going to really get this kicked in gear in 2023. We're still kind of behind the scenes, sort of getting organized and ready for that. And there'll be a lot more information to come, but just organically, I just had a guide sign up today. People are seeing it and just signing their guide company up and entering for the clients, which is cool. And just as a preview, like what the goal will be that it's been a little confusing, but going forward, we're going to ask the charter captains to enter fish for their clients, and we're going to give their clients incentive to quote unquote get on board with release over 20. And that way the guide is going to get credit on the leaderboard for the release, but also their client has a chance to win the giveaway. So it's a sort of a win-win situation. I think it's going to work out pretty well. The captains I've spoken to so far think it's going to work out well. So I'm going to turn it over to Carrie, talk about our newest sponsor, which I'm really stoked about.
We actually have some. Well, you can tell I've been working this last month, but yeah, Prescott Hughes with Hook just sent us. I just got it in the mail yesterday or day before yesterday, maybe, I don't know, but it's $500 worth of caps, and they've got some really good looking caps. As the inventory was depleting, I've been giving some people some calls. Visually Art, you guys haven't seen his new prints, I don't think, but no, I didn't give one of those away this month because I wanted to. We already had somebody went unclaimed, I think, on Sheepshead a couple months ago, so I just put it in inventory and just gave that away since it's already put together. But his art is spectacular. Prime Goncho stepped up. They sent some hand towels, caps, decals, cards. Then Rayo's sunglasses. I used to work with, is it Legend or Legion? I mean, it's spelled Legand.
I think it's Legend.
Well, anyway, he left the company or else got promoted or something, but he sent me an email and told me and gave me Maggie's contact information. So I dropped her an email, and she just asked, what do we want? She's definitely behind it. There's a great company, local Charleston company. Adam wears their sunglasses. David wears their sunglasses. My wife has some. My daughter has some. But anyway, it was 4 days later, and she had, I think it's 12 pair of glasses and 12 koozies with magnetic sides to them. And anyway, just a lot of people that that you have worked with over time, and just when they start getting a little low on something, I'll reach out, and everybody just is certainly behind Release Over 20. It's a fun job, actually, when you start getting people responding like that. But
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
And we're really excited about Hook because we're one of the biggest apparel companies in fishing right now. So huge name, helps us with credibility, and it helps promote them as well. Not that they probably need it, because I think almost everyone knows about that brand, but we're really excited to have them be on board with us. And I just want to reach out and say thank you to them, and look forward to giving it away to people that are releasing fish. So pretty cool.
But Prescott's great to work with. Greg is who I met whenever we had the kayak giveaway, or they brought the kayak to us, and Greg was one of the guys that went fishing on the kayaks. And so that was my in. And I reached out to him, and he got me set up with Prescott. So thank you guys. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
So moving forward, Adam, want to tell people about what we did recently with Keep Fish Wet?
Yeah, sure. So Dave was nice enough to host myself and Andy from Keep Fish Wet. Andy is a professor, is a fish biologist. He's a professor at the University of UMass up in Amherst, Massachusetts. But he was down speaking at a national fly fishing conference here in Charleston. And fortunately, everything lined up, and Dave was nice enough to bring he and I out on his boat fishing, and we got to see a firsthand demonstration, which we did take some video of how he recommends basically handling a fish for, to give it the best chances of survival post-release. So it was definitely, I think, Dave, eye-opening, right? Definitely things that we need to try and do better ourselves. It's a challenging thing for us because we're not trying to tell anybody else like what to do or how to do it. But, when you have these guys that, are obviously highly credentialed guys whose life's work has been studying fish, tell you this is the best way to do it, we just at least want to make people aware that, like ourselves to start with, even that, all right, yeah, we can try and do the best we can to at least follow that, but we want to be pragmatic about it. We understand, circumstances don't always allow it. Right. So, Dave, does that?
Totally agree. And there's a lot of types of fishing, like there's kayak fishing, there's wade fishing, there's shore-based fishing, and there's boat fishing. And in my personal opinion, it's hardest to do it right when you're in a boat.
Definitely.
And that's what the three of us fish out of boats all the time. Probably the majority of people do, in our, people who follow us. And I'm on a personal journey myself because I don't always know what the best thing to do is. So I was very interested to hear, like the first thing we, like it was funny because Adam was like, I don't want to be the first one to catch a fish because I don't want to expose myself for how bad I do it, And when he got in the boat, the first thing I said to him was, "Coach us up because I admit that I probably really suck at this."
So who did catch the first fish?
I did.
Did you?
Yeah, but it was cool because I already put that out there, right? It's like I don't know the best thing to do. And, the first thing we did was we netted. So I already had a rubber net, which is what the recommendation is. And the reason is because it's better on the fish, I already knew that, but, we netted the fish and went to lift it up into the boat, and he was like, whoa. We were like, oh, oh, okay. But, it's like Adam alluded to, there's there's what the science says is the best thing to do is one thing. What the average angler is doing today is a world apart from that. So whatever we can do to help influence people to do a better job is better. And maybe we all collectively get to the point where we're doing it in the best possible way, but at least we can get the information out there so that people know what's really important, and then they can start changing their behavior. And I'm kind of going on for a little bit tangent, but we want to talk about today about the first thing, which is what Andy recommended was anyone can do this today. Mash your barbs down. You know, we're all fishing with treble hooks, jig head hooks. You know, rig it up. The first thing you should do, take your pliers and just mash that barb down. I mean, it's so easy to do, and it really simplifies the act of removing the hook, and it just enables less damage to the actual tissues of the fish, less bleeding. It lets you get the hook out, you know, quicker. It doesn't, in my experience, it hasn't. Since I've been doing it for the last few weeks, I haven't lost a fish that way. You know, you're supposed to be keeping tension on it at all times anyway. Unless you just are leaving a lot of slack in your line, you're not going to lose that fish. And literally everyone can do it, and they can start today and just have an immediate impact on things. And I thought maybe we would do is every month we'll just focus on a different aspect. So we have a number of other tips for people to focus on, but maybe we can all just commit to just starting to mash our barbs. Start today to start doing it. If you really cared about making a difference, then we'll all do it. You know, it's like we're not telling you to do anything. You do it voluntarily, but we're just saying that makes a difference. So why not? You know,
I've been mashing Adam's barbs when he's not looking.
So we have a question.
You know what though? That's true though, because trout, you know, they come in shaking that head, and you know how many times have you lifted a trout up and that hook's wound around inside its mouth, you know, just on the skin.
Yeah.
And if that barb's mashed, then it's not gonna be a big deal. It's just to slide it right out of there. And with, you know, with the rods that we've got today, medium action with fast tips, those suckers are bent over double anyway when you're fighting it in. So
yeah.
I think you know, one distinction to make. I think if you're fishing artificials, like the three of us primarily fish artificials, I think it's really no problem to mash the barb. It makes sense. Mm-hmm. I do think if you're fishing a live bait, I think in my experience when I used to fish bait a little more often, it is a little harder to keep the live bait on the hook depending on how you hook it. So I did want to ask actually Andy about that, because I do find that I did like I said, it was just a small sample size, but when I tried it with live bait, it seemed like the live bait, you know, was a little easier to get off the hook. But certainly on artificials, it's definitely simple. And just to take a step back real quick, how we got involved with Keep Fish Wet is one, we have a guy, another fishing biologist, professor at College of Charleston, who was kind enough to reach out to us and just offer up his assistance. And we happened to be talking about this subject, and we'd been getting some questions from a lot of you about techniques on releasing fish. And as we were trying to think through how we could best, basically provide that information, we found Keep Fish Wet, and we got connected with them through our local professor at the college here. And it just made sense to us. Why would we try and come up with any of the content ourselves when they dedicate they have their own standalone nonprofit, just like us, that's completely dedicated to these practices. They have a really good website, which, certainly if you want to jump ahead of our monthly release tips, you can go and check it out. It's just a few real simple, basic things that you can at least try and do, or at least, again, just be aware that would be the best thing to do if you can. So that's. Can
you say what it is?
Keepfishwet.org, right?
Yeah, keepfishwet.org.
And we're an official. We've had a couple of calls with them. We obviously met Andy in person, which was great, and we're an official partnership, I guess. I forget what they call it. They have a term they have different
conservation
categories.
Partners.
Yeah, something like that. But
yep.
So we're working together basically, but for our part, we're just getting out what they produce because again, they're
Yeah.
trained professionals who've studied these things for their entire lives. So anyway, just a quick background.
Yeah. So we had a question here from Jacob. Is there anything to be said for rubber net hooks extraction live well with recirculating pump, then pick and release? Not often gonna get a super spook junior out of an angry fish while in the net and in the water. So yeah, great point.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to talk about this in a future one, and I'm glad you asked this because it's worth talking about now. So another thing that Andy was talking about was just having a plan. It's like when you catch that fish, like if you're not ready, you're going to be fumbling and bumbling, and the fish is going to suffer while you're waiting. And one thing that I've done is part of my personal plan, and it's made a huge difference. In my opinion, it's made a really big difference. Is that the time out of the water is something we'll talk about in the future, but it's super important, and we're almost all of us are keeping those fish in the air out of the water way too long. And what I do is now, whenever I go fishing and I'm in the parking lot about to launch my boat, I automatically put my plug in my live well, and I fill it up with water. I automatically just fill it up with water. And I do have an aerator in my live well too, like a bubbler. And if I catch a fish and I want to release, I do take it out of the water with the net, and I will quickly remove that hook and or treble if it's top water, and immediately put it in that live well with the bubbler while I get everything ready. Like I'm a tagger, so I get my tag out, record the number, get my tag gun, get my camera ready, and then the fish is. While you're doing that, the fish is fine. It's in an aerated live well with fresh water, and or not, like circulated water, and then you can reach in and pull it out real quick to do the tagging. Put it back in. Pull it out to take a quick picture. Put it back in. It's never out of the water for more than a few seconds. Big difference. You can just tell when you release that fish, it just shoots away. It's fully energetic, and it's not exhausted, and it's not half dead. So, Jacob, that's a great question. I would recommend that you do that if you don't already. It's just it's a good practice. It's something that's worked for me, and if you're in a boat, that helps. If you're not in a boat, it's a little easier to kind of keep it in and out. Like if you're wade fishing, you can keep it in the water. So yeah. So it looks like, Jacob, you already do that. So that's cool. Yeah. I mean, it's a great practice. So appreciate you reaching out, Jacob. Yeah. So any other comments, guys? Okay. Let's go ahead and do the giveaway then. What you say? So we want to talk about what's in the SHEEPSHEAD package.
Sorry, bottom sweeper jigs, twitch clips, looks like some of your gel bait, drum spots, cards, and that awesome hoodie from Waterloo.
Yeah, nice hoodie.
And you know what? I didn't mention this either. I may have mentioned it last week, but Waterloo obviously is there was a David, who makes the
Waterloo?
No, Toadfish.
Oh.
Toadfish just sent us a whole bunch of stuff, including a combo. Like I think Adam just bought one. They were running them on sale for Black Friday. But we've got a combo and just a whole bunch of hats. And I mean, they were just awesome. Those guys over there are just awesome.
Oh, yeah. They've always been so generous.
I think I was just down to maybe some stickers or something, and just picked up the phone. Or actually, I didn't pick up the phone. I just emailed Thor, and I mean, he was right back the next day. What do you want? Yeah. So I just want to mention that.
Thank you, Carrie, for taking the reins in that whole thing. You're starting to get some momentum, and it's pretty cool to see. So
yeah.
I'm glad to see that you're getting some response from these people, and they're getting to know you and associate you with Release Over 20, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
So we have 10 entries for Sheepshead. I'm going to go ahead and share my my screen picker here. Let's see. Okay. So as usual, we're going to roll the dice 3 times, and then the third time will be the winner. So first roll is 1, second roll is 7, and the winner is number 5, which is George Powell from North Carolina with a 20-inch Jeep.
Wait. Is that 5 or is that 6?
It's 5.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm glad that you cautioned me because I can screw up as I've done before.
Well, we did that like last month, I think.
Yeah. So George Powell, congrats, man. We'll be in touch. Okay, let's go back to oops. Oh, did I skip that? Flounder.
It's a pretty picture, isn't it? It's a beautiful flounder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got Z-Man fishing products shirt. Z-Man, got some scented shad, slick lures, Carolina First Mate, and then some leader from
Florida Fishing Products.
Yep,
right?
Florida Fishing Products.
Slick Lure, by the way, has a new product out. It's
They do,
It's like a Slick Mini or something. It's like a smaller version of their thing. So, y'all need to check that out. I'm gonna order some myself.
Hey, speaking of buffs, speaking of the Carolina First Mate buff, we've also got buffs that we sell on the website, on our website, and they're pretty cool. And it's getting to be that time of the year, so I just thought I'd mention that.
I love buffs. They're great for cold weather. Pull that up over your face. Makes a big difference.
And sun, and this year has been a really bad, at least here locally, it's been a really bad biting bug year in terms of gnats and mosquitoes. So those things are real lifesavers.
Game changer for gnats.
Yeah.
I think underappreciated for gnats because you pull it up over your ears.
Yeah.
And everything but your eyes, and keeps them, really helps. I had at Edisto years ago. I had so many gnats on me. I got bit in the white of my eye.
Oh my gosh.
And they were swarming, and I was going crazy. Like, I finally was I was waving my hands frantically, and I got in the whaler and I fired it up, and I just went wide open for in a big circle just to get them off me enough so I could make a few casts. But yeah, buffs.
Adam and I got caught in a swarm of them about 2 years ago in a light rain. You remember that, Adam?
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's horrible when it's a mist on the air or just even a light rain.
Yeah.
And then when there's no wind, they're horrible.
But I would still if the bite was really on, I don't think I'd move.
Hey, you weren't wanting to move if we were catching fish. I know that.
I know it's horrible. I don't like those gnats either, but if the fish are there and biting, that's the price you pay, right? But I'm totally with you guys. Don't get me wrong.
Okay, so we had 17 entries for flounder, and let's go ahead and give that one away. So first roll is 8, 10, and the winner is 11, which is down here, Nathan Falcon from Mississippi.
Cool.
With a 20-incher. So congrats, Nathan. Haven't seen his name, not familiar with it, so appreciate that. And okay, so back to trout. So we got a big package for trout.
Yeah, so you see the prime goncho. These are the hand towels that he sent us. They're really cool. He's got the trout like this one right here. Then he's got, I want to say it's a redfish. But you can see these. Look at these hats we're starting to get in. We've got the bait binder. This is I'm trying to give while it's still, is season still in for shrimping season?
I think it just ended today.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay. But slick lure, I see a mud minnow gator, and I'm going to tell you the fabric on that mud minnow gator is really comfortable. I bought one of those along with a couple of shirts for my wife and I. Waterloo hat. This over here on the top ground. What's that logo right there? The tan cap.
I think that's toadfish. Looks like
It is
oysters.
toadfish. Yeah. So just a lot of your normal stuff. Got a Low Country Fishing decal. Got some eye strike jig heads, and got is that a Paul Brown topwater?
I think it's a mirror lure.
It's
mirror
a mirror
lure,
lure.
but okay.
Paul Browns are like a soft.
Okay.
Material.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's
suspended lure.
Yeah. So,
Sweet.
AM fishing. Just some really good stuff, guys.
Yeah,
It's about $150 worth of prize, and then the next giveaway will be $150 for the prize. And
great package.
And more stuff from Waterloo.
354 entries for trout.
Wow.
So see who's going to win the lottery here. 297. Next one is 167. The winner is 26, which is way up here. 26, this is cool. So this might be the first time. This is funny. This is a client entering for a charter captain entering for their client. In this case, the client's name is Forgot, huh? I'll get with Kyle and we'll figure that out. But he's entered for a number of his clients. So we'll get with Kyle. So I appreciate
where is Kyle
for a client. Kyle's in Mississippi.
Mississippi winners.
Yep, I've been down. Kyle is a member of Speckled Truth and fished with him myself. Great captain. Catches a lot of big trout. Fishes the Chandeleur Islands a lot. So that's pretty cool. So that is a great example. So if you're a charter captain, you can enter for your client. Your client's going to win. He probably just needs to go back and look at the photo, and we'll figure out who the winner's going to be. So the client will win that huge package of stuff.
Nice.
Just for fishing with Kyle and agreeing to releases over 20s. So pretty awesome. Okay. And then the next one, the last giveaway is the overall, which is another big package.
Gary went wild on this one, huh?
Yeah. So as you can see, Florida Fishing Products. That's a nice cap. Mud minnow. He's got his cap with a sticker. Another mirror lure, eye strike shirt. We've got some bait binder catfish. I think it's called Devil's Dung. So he's got some crazy names. Carolina First Mate. We've got, speaking of gnats and mosquitoes, we've got their gnat spray in this package. And then we've got Slick Lure and, all your soft plastics, AM Fishing, and then a variety of stickers that kind of go along with whatever's up there. So,
and a quick shout out to AM Fishing. We haven't talked about them a ton, but they've been super generous too. And
they have.
Gives a giant box of stuff at least twice now. So you probably still have a bunch of those left, don't you?
I do. And you know what? I usually, in these two packages, I usually throw in. I try to, kind of keep the soft plastics to where I'm not, taking all Z-Man products. So I just kind of try to be fair with all of our sponsors. But yeah, AM Fishing. I've got the drawer. Pull it out, and it still just looks like there's a ton of stuff in there. So
pretty awesome. Appreciate those guys. So, okay. So for the overall, so what we do is we just pick from all the entries, and we have 381 to choose from. And let's go ahead and do that. So you have another chance to win. So 180's first roll, second's 105, and the winner is 129, which is here in column A. 129 is Chad Baxter from Virginia with a 21.5 trout. So congrats, Chad. we'll get a hold of him and get him sent out. So four winners. One was a charter captain client, which is pretty cool. We had, let's see, we had Virginia, Mississippi, and North Carolina. So congrats, everyone.
Yeah, good job.
Keep the entries coming. It's November. There's no excuse not to be catching and releasing a lot of fish, and keep them coming. We're already off to a huge start. We already have, I don't know, what'd you say, like 60 something entries for 7 days into the month. So
85.
85,
wow.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Kerry?
No, I thought Adam had said 55 earlier, but 85.
Yeah, that was just trout.
That's Virginia, 55.
Oh, just Virginia.
Yeah. Virginia, dominant.
Wait till you see this month. Wait till you see what Virginia does this month.
Oh yeah.
I think we all have to go fishing in Virginia, is what I think. I mean,
all my friends in Virginia would be like,
yeah.
don't tell anyone.
Well, that's we're making a difference, you guys. This is it's pretty impressive to see these fish just keep stacking up. Not to be making a pun, but it's fun to see them doing that, and just to know that what we're doing, and we're releasing so many more eggs into the ecosystem. It's just incredible. Those numbers are just unreal.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, it's very gratifying to see, and hopefully we just keep getting more and more new people doing it, and they tell their friends, and they tell their friends, and we're gonna be continuing to sort of help with outreach and helping spread the Keep Fish Wet message of the science-based facts about releasing, and there's a lot more to come there. Pretty excited about getting those out to everyone. And also, we ought to mention, save the date, right, Kerry?
April 5th. Is that what we're talking about?
April 28th, I think.
It's the end of April, yeah. Last Saturday in April? 29th?
29th, okay.
April 29th is Cast
Saturday?
Forward. Cast Forward year 2.
Yeah, it'll
Pretty
be
excited. We're starting to plan, and hopefully going to have another great event. And
having it in April, the chances of it being crummy weather is not nearly as what it is in February. So there's a lot of good things. Yeah.
We're going to give away a kayak. Thanks to Bonafide. And
so
like auction away a kayak.
Auction, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're not going to give away a kayak.
Yeah.
Someone's going to win a kayak.
Yeah, it's a $2,500 value.
Mm-hmm. So great. Well, appreciate you guys, everything you do and your time. Congrats to all the winners. Keep them coming. We'll do this again at the end of November.
Well,
and we'll get those decals out as quick as we can. So,
well, now there's you're probably going to be a little bit depressed on December 4th.
That's right.
Yeah, the tournament, the big tournament's December 3rd.
Yeah,
I already told Adam 3 15-inch redfish is not going to
win. We don't have those great big upper slots where we fish. I mean, we'll have to probably fish some docks and stuff to find them on structure.
Yeah.
But
you all be fishing for like a while before I even get a line in the water, I think, because I got to go through all those no wake zones.
Oh, here we go. The excuses are starting already. Kerry.
All right.
Yeah,
we'll measure them up. We'll measure them up when we get there.
Guys, enjoyed it. We'll see you next time.
All right, y'all take care.
All right, everyone. Thank you.
Bye, everyone. See you.
Thanks.